Alrighty, thank you so much for stopping by, people. So today we're going to go over a few updates from this boxing game that we've been following for quite some time right now, ESports Boxing Club. And this is the February development update that they released a few days ago. And I was kind of waiting to see all the news that was going to drop that we can compile into one video, because I really don't want to make multiple videos on the same thing. So it seems like the updates and news is starting to slow down a little bit right now. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to see what's good, what's not so good, what's exciting, what's not so exciting. So starting things off with, by the way, this was posted on their Twitter page. So this is the Twitter page right here, Steel City Interactive. This is the studio that's developing the game, but you can also follow Esports Boxing Club on Twitter. So right here, it starts off with gameplay update. Let me see if I can increase this thing so you guys can actually see what I'm looking at. Well, I guess not. I'm going to zoom in when I'm editing the video. That will not be a problem. So right here, it says gameplay update. It says, over the last 2 months, we have been upgrading the combat system in Esports Boxing Club. As we mentioned in our December statement, this was an area that was being worked on due to the high standard and expectations we have for Esports Boxing Club. Now, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to read this whole entire thing. I'm going to link it below so you guys can read it yourself. But essentially, right here, they're just letting us know that they've been upgrading the combat system. Now, of course, combat system refers to the mechanics, how the punches will be thrown, the blocking, the defending, moving your head, footwork, how all of that plays together into a fleshed out combat system. And they're talking about how they're upgrading it. We actually haven't really seen that yet. We've not seen that. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing some type of gameplay trailer very, very soon. I'm not sure when that's going to be released, but that is something that we are all looking forward to, so that we can see how the combat actually looks in action. Now, of course, they're going to put out their absolute best work. Makes perfect sense. You're trying to build a game, you're trying to promote a game, you're going to put your best foot forward. So that's why it's taking this long. They're trying to make sure that it's ready to be showcased, because you don't want to showcase something mediocre and kill the hype. So it makes perfect sense. Now, right here, this is where most of the news is coming from right here. It says roster update. They've added quite a few legends to the game, a total of 6 legends being added to the game. And they started uploading or putting out those legends on the 18th of February. Around 8 p.m. We're gonna look at those 6 legends because they've already released all 6 of them. We'll take a look at all the legends, and very, very exciting stuff. Because I know a few of you were kind of worried about the roster, like who's gonna show up in the game, who's gonna be there. Now I will tell you, Mike Tyson. I haven't seen Mike Tyson. I haven't seen Muhammad Ali. Of course, we've not seen guys like Floyd Mayweather or Canelo Alvarez, or more names like that we haven't quite seen. But the legends that they've added are very, very recognizable legends, and I'm pretty sure you're all going to be excited about that. Now right here, it says character creator feedback. This was the last video they uploaded, and in this video they talked about, well, they went in depth to show what they have so far in terms of creative fighters, and we did talk about that video in depth. We looked at the whole entire video, we broke it down, and right here they said they were blown away by the amazing response. They'd like to reiterate that everything being shown so far isn't final. We get it. So aspects like hair, beards. Now this is one thing I talked about in the video, tattoos, because I was a little bit worried, right? They didn't really show a tattoo system, so I was a little bit worried, like, okay, are we going to be able to assign tattoos to our fighters? If so, how in-depth is it going to be? So it's a very good thing that they mentioned right here. Yes, tattoos will be a part of it. So that makes me glad. Now, of course, we've not seen anything in regards to the fighter stance. Like, how's the fighter? Are we going to be able to choose our fighter stance, our fighter's blocking style, our fighter's movement style? All of that was available to you in Fight Night Champion. So it would be very important for them to also feature that, to be the ability to pick what blocking style you want, whether it's the Philly shell or whether it's the cross blocking, the peekaboo blocking, stuff like that. It would be really good if that is also added to their character creator. And then right here, they're just talking about some brands and partnerships added to the game. Doesn't really pertain to me right here. Now, WCWBC Championships, we are in the process of creating a worldwide structure with boxing federations to create regional championships with one final televised champions tournament taking place. The winners will be walking away with a physical ESBC WBC world title belt. Now see, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be very, very interesting right here. A televised champions tournament that will take place where whoever wins is going to actually receive an actual physical ESBC. I mean, I want to see it. You might even see your boy on that stage. Who knows? Who knows? But this is going to attract a lot of people, because where there's competition, you're going to see a whole lot of players coming up to try to win that title. And stuff like this is also gonna really test your game. It will test the integrity of your game, because here's the thing. You don't know how good your game is. You don't know how well designed your game is until players have a need to absolutely win. When you have a video game with some serious attractive incentives that forces players to do every single thing in their power to win, that's when you're going to see your game break. That's when you're going to see bugs, exploits, game-breaking exploits. Stuff like this, this is what's going to tell you if you've built a game with a solid structure, if you've thought about everything, if you've tested the game extensively, if you've ironed out all the bugs and all the issues and all the possible exploits, if you've done your due diligence. This is the sort of thing that's going to show you, because players will break your game. So this is exciting for more than one reason. Of course, this is good because, it brings the community together. It's competitive. It's very entertaining to watch, but it's also very good because this is going to elevate the game to the next level, because the game will be broken. It most definitely will be broken by players looking for the easiest, cheapest, quickest way to get to a victory. So keep an eye out. Now, for launch plans, it says, to many fans who have been following us from day one, you already know how the studio and ESBC has grown over the last 9 months. It says it keeps increasing the size, scope, and expectations of the video game. They will be launching into early access on Steam in the coming months. Now, of course, in the coming months could mean in the next 2 months, in the next 3 months. It could mean December. It can mean November. It doesn't really say much, except, it could even mean next year. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't say anything about this year. So we'll see. The good news, though, is that they say that when they do the March update, that's when they'll be giving us a launch window. So I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that the game will be dropping sometime this year, because goddamn, I'm ready for this game. But I think it's important to also mention that, they should take their time, man. Take your time. Make sure the game is ready before releasing it. Doesn't matter when it comes out, just make sure the game is ready. Gameplay trailer. Now this right here is what we've all been waiting for. Gameplay trailer. Like all these updates and the videos and the pictures, it's all well and good. It's all very appreciated. It keeps the community going. It keeps the hype alive. But nothing really sets the tone and gets the hype to the next level like a gameplay trailer, where you actually see what the game looks like in action. That's the important thing. You know what I mean? Not a cinematic trailer, a gameplay trailer, actual gameplay. That's what we're all looking forward to. And right there it says, after the incredible reaction of the Alpha Movement trailer we launched in November, we realized this increased the anticipation of our next trailer massively. Now that we have upgraded our combat mechanics, we will be launching our gameplay trailer soon. but also when it's ready. So again, soon could be anytime. We don't really know when it's coming, but they have a high focus on when it's actually ready, which is pretty good. I'm happy about that. So looking forward to this one. Really looking forward to this one. This is what's going to tell us what this game, this is what's going to set the mood. Are we going to be disappointed? We're going to nitpick the hell out of it because that's what we do. That's just what we do. But I feel like this is what's really going to tell us if this game is going to be a success or maybe not so much a success, but we'll see. And right here, the community, I'm gonna read this whole entire part because this is important. It says, finally, like all highly anticipated games, we realize the hype and speculation can take over the original goal of the studio. And with this being a boxing game, it's safe to say, after a decade-long wait for a fully licensed boxing title, we can understand the frustration and urgency behind some of you wanting us to release ESBC immediately. Please note that we won't rush into release, and whilst the majority understand this, to the few who are frustrated at there not being a boxing game, we've got your backs. But just know that it's not Steel City Interactive's doing that there hasn't been a licensed boxing game in a decade. We're doing this for the love of the sport. Absolutely. Now, having said that, we would like to thank you, the community, for your support. Whether it's through your Discord or via any of our social media pages, as a studio, it's humbling to read some of the amazing emails and messages we receive from you. We would also like to thank the content creators. We truly appreciate the time and effort you put into covering ESBC on your channels. As our studio grows, we'll be reaching out to everyone who has contacted us during our journey. So a big thank you to channels such as Sports Gamers Online, Boxing Fanatical. Boxing Fanatical is a solid boxing channel that covers this game way more than I do. So you might want to give this man a follow. He's doing very good work over there. Marshall Mind. Oh, look at this. I don't know who this guy is, but shit, this dude right here, might want to stick with this guy as well. Operation Sports, the Coach's Corner, and many others. While we don't always get the time to watch everything, it's appreciated by everyone at the studio. See, this right here could seem small, but goddamn, does it feel good to be appreciated. God damn, does it feel good to be appreciated. I'm going to just leave it at that. Now that we're done with the updates, I'm going to go ahead and start looking at some of these legends. So right here, February 18th, they released the very first legend. Right here, Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson, I believe, is the highest rated boxer in Fight Night Champion right now. This man is considered by many boxers, many fans, people who love the sport of boxing to be the greatest boxer of all time. Sugar Ray Robinson is. The man has over 100 fights and a very solid record. So, very good ad. Very good addition to the game. Very curious to see what his character model is going to look like. Very curious to see what he's going to be rated as. Very curious to see what his fight style is going to be like. How is he going to hold his hands? How is he going to move around the octagon? Is he going to be unique? What's his speed, his power? All of that. Looking forward to seeing this man in action. So, very good addition right here. That's number one. Number two is Joe Louis. Joe Louis is, this says right here, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. He has also been added to Esports Boxing Club. I'm not sure if Joe Louis was featured in Fight Night Champion. I'm almost certain that he was. Actually, I'm pretty sure that he was. These are some of the fighters that I haven't used too much in FNC, of course, because we're all using Ali and Mike Tyson and the likes. But Joe Louis added to Esports Boxing Club. Very good. Jack Dempsey. I know a lot of people are huge fans of Jack Dempsey. The Mauler, the Manassa Mauler, Jack Dempsey, added to the game. Should be good. Next up is Jack Johnson. See, full disclosure, and I've said this before, MMA is my sport, right? Mixed martial arts is the sport that I devote most of my time to. I love boxing. I love boxing the same way I love wrestling. because it's a part of MMA. You know what I mean? It's a part of mixed martial arts, but I don't really dabble too much into the individual sports. So a lot of these guys, I don't really know too much about them. You know, I'm more of a casual boxing fan as opposed to a hardcore boxing fan. So if I'm not doing these fighters justice by telling you when they were born or where they were born, where they grew up, at what age did they become a professional, how many fights did, if I'm not, going into detail and giving you a full history of these fighters, just understand that's why. I'm more of a casual boxing fan, but I still love the sport of boxing. I appreciate the art. And so and I know what these fighters mean to hardcore boxing fans. I know what these guys mean. This is going to be like you creating a mixed martial arts game and then putting Royce Gracie in there in his gi. Those of us that love MMA, we're going to be cheesing from ear to ear. We could tell you everything there is to know about Royce Gracie, So I know how much fans love their legends. I get it. We love our legends. You love yours. So I'm excited. As someone who is a boxing fan, even if I am a casual fan, I'm more excited for the hardcores who are looking at this and going, yes, our legends are in the game. I know what that means to you guys. So I'm happy for you. Absolutely. The next legend, I believe one. Am I missing? Who am I missing? There we go. Next up is Floyd Patterson. See, all these names, they sound very familiar. They really all sound familiar. I just haven't watched them too much. Floyd Patterson has been added to the game. Once again, looking forward to seeing how unique all these fighters will be in comparison to the other. And in this one, we all know Rocky Marciano. 49-0, never lost a fight. Has been added to the game. Rocky Marciano also was in Fight Night champion, and he was fun to use. He's actually one of the smaller heavyweights. I don't remember how tall or how much he weighed, but I do know that he is one of the smaller heavyweights out there, kind of like Mike Tyson, especially like when you look at his height and his size in comparison to other big boys like George Foreman, for example. So Rocky Marciano added to the game. Very, very exciting, and I'm really looking forward to how all this is going to play. So if you guys have not followed Esports Boxing Club on Twitter yet, go right ahead and do that. A lot of the updates that they put out gets posted on this Twitter page, so follow them if you've not seen it yet. But that is it, man. That is it for the updates on this game. I am as excited as I've always been for this game, while also being very cautious. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, but this is Boxing Fanatical right here. This is the guy that I'm talking to you guys about. Boxing Fanatical. Look at this. Almost his whole entire channel is devoted to boxing, devoted to this game. He does a very good job, a better job than I do in terms of boxing knowledge. He's a hardcore boxing fan. So if you guys are hardcore boxing fans and you want to follow someone who's a little bit more knowledgeable than I am in the sport, you might want to give him a follow. So there you go. Follow Esports Boxing Club. Once this game drops, I'm going to be playing this game extensively. And if it's good, which I'm keeping my fingers crossed. That it is. If it's good, I'm hoping this is going to be the push that I personally need to get back to watching some boxing, to following pay-per-views, learning about upcoming boxers, and maybe even getting into some boxing myself. You know what I mean? Because if there's one thing that I've learned from having a YouTube channel dedicated to mixed martial arts and mixed martial arts gaming, is I know a lot of people that watch my channel that got into MMA from getting into MMA gaming. It happens. And this is something that the boys over at UFC Undisputed 3 understood. The THQ boys, they understood that we can get fans into MMA, this sport, through our video game. And that's why that UFC Undisputed 3 game was very educational. The game seeked to teach you about MMA. And I'm really hoping that these guys at ESBC, they follow a similar pattern. You have a huge opportunity here. If there are people out there that perhaps want a boxing game but are not hardcore boxing fans like myself, I would love a boxing game, but I'm not a hardcore boxing. I don't watch every boxing pay-per-view or event. You know what I mean? The only ones that I watch are the big names like Canelo Alvarez, GGG. You know what I mean? These are the guys that I tend to watch, but every other boxer I really don't care too much of. But you can transform casuals like myself and a lot of other people. You could absolutely transform us into hardcore boxing fans with a solid boxing game packed with knowledge, with boxing knowledge that piques the interest of fans. It can be done because I've seen it happen many times with MMA. So that's what I'm hoping for this game. I wish you guys the absolute best. I appreciate the shout out. It means the world to me. Never change. Don't change. Just keep the head down. Create the absolute best boxing game that you can. And as much as you have our backs, we've got yours. I swear to God, we've got your backs. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.